Hey all, Brad here, and we're doing Battle for Azeroth, the Crucible of Storms, which is the latest raid. It's a two-boss raid, and it's one of these raids where I've been trying to record this for ever since it came out, actually, on LFR, and the LFR groups are just not doing so well in it. But hopefully this time it'll go well, but I'm not sure. We'll see. But in my previous video, we did a world quest that was picked up from the Naga Attack world quest, and that led to a quest series that involved Xal'atath and these three legendary items: the Crown, the Void Stone, and the Trident. So this raid deals with those three items, which I find it rather odd that they put those behind a world quest.
Filth defiles this chamber. They are insolent, unworthy of his gift. He has awakened, and they shall slumber in his death. Let their flesh become an offering of atonement.
Okay, so this raid, even though it's small, it only has two bosses. Technically three if these two guys are together, so they're both bosses. So anyway, two boss encounters, and it's very mechanic heavy. So you have to watch where you're standing, watch what you're doing. You have to move when you're supposed to move, stuff like that. So the last boss isn't so bad. This boss, the first one, is what everybody seems to have issues with. So it's really simple. We have to keep both these bosses close in hit points. So typically the best way I've seen it done is we'll call the smaller guy Zax, and this big guy Fathul, we'll call him Fa and Zax. Fa, we have to get him down to 75%, then switch to Zax, get him down to 75, then switch back, get him down to 50, switch back, get him down to 50, then 25, 25, then we can go to town on them. But the whole while, they're going to be casting AoEs on the ground. Zax is going to be casting like this inky black ray that you have to avoid as well. And there's also going to be a water bubble. So you'll see this giant water bubble. So what ends up happening is we got to pull the bosses in the bubble. We all have to go into the bubble. And I believe there's an enemy in the bubble. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a way of stopping the whole raid from wiping. If we don't deal with that bubble, it can wipe out the whole raid. I've seen the whole raid go down, like completely wiped just off the bubble. This particular battle is slightly more complicated for tanks and healers. Healers, it's very heal intensive, but tanks, they have to watch their stacks. So like, while fighting Fathul, I believe it is, they'll get like stacks on them, but they should only get like 3 stacks max. Some tanks can do more, but they end up taking so much damage when they take more than that, that they end up taunting off each other, the two tanks. So that's the most important, that tanks have to do the taunting, or healers can't keep up with the heals. And once a tank goes down, it's over. We might as well just wipe it. Unless we can get the tank back up and the tank understands the fight, we're screwed. But even as DPS, you gotta be careful. You gotta watch what you're doing. It's not so hard. Just like, even if you're doing a long cast, if an AoE appears below you, just drop the cast and move out of the AoE. Because there's so many of them. So many AoEs. You'll see it as we start this. Okay, so we're on attempt number 2. We actually were doing really well in the first attempt. I was really impressed with everybody in this group. But then right near the end, everybody got overexcited thinking that it was a sure bet, and a water bubble appeared, and we all died. Because no one got in the bubble, no one pulled the bosses into the bubble, nothing. Like, I was in the bubble with one other person. The whole rest of the raid stayed outside the bubble. And we wiped. The whole raid wiped in one shot. We got one person that went offline. A lot of players don't realize that once the boss battle's over, if you leave the raid, you don't get penalized. You don't get a penalty. But so people will just switch to offline, expecting to be kicked, and they'll get kicked. But once the boss battle's done, you could just leave the raid. You're not going to get a desert timer. It's all good. Luckily it was a DPS that went offline, so... Now we got a stack of determination, which gives us 5% for damage, health, and healing. So... I'm gonna try to get as far away from this as I can.
4, 3, 2, 1.
There's that inky beam that he shoots out. Whoa. Yeah, so as long as you don't stand in stuff, you should be okay. There's just a lot going on. You just have to watch your feet. And if something pops up beneath your feet, just cancel your cast and move. Just don't wait. There's too much going on in this raid.
4, 3, 2, 1.
I think everybody gets the mechanics now. They seem to. So I think we should be good. There we go. Did really well there. Whoever's got raid assist controlling the skull icon there, they're supposed to switch over. There we go. The end of your pitiful defiance. Oh, they took it out so quick I didn't even take damage.
4, 3, 2, 1.
You are but rot in the storm. Your screams will echo through his halls.
In the storm, your screams will echo through his halls. Interesting. Okay, we're not doing too bad again. The first attempt, the healers were all down to about half their mana pool, and one healer was completely out of mana. So we're not doing so bad right now. The same healer that was almost out of mana before is almost out of mana again. My little imp is still alive, I just don't know where he is. Oh, the tank's almost dead. Looks like we have a Disc Priest who put a shield on him, but he's getting no heals. I think he's got too many stacks. Okay, now it's a free-for-all, basically. We just have to survive it. Oh no. This is not good. Everybody's lost a lot of health. I'm worried about the Paladin tank more than any other. The Monk tank not doing so bad. The Paladin tank, his hit points just keep going down and up like crazy. It's very spiky.
4, 3, 2, 1.
It looks like we're gonna beat them.
Victory will yet be ours.
Yes.
Yet clean you.
Very dramatic cutscene. Oh, don't want to look down. So some people are just looking for gear, so they'll leave. But most of us, we stayed and stuck it out. So this next boss, it's very clear cut what we have to do, and Blizzard's kind of very sympathetic with how the raid runs on LFR. So this next boss, not so bad, but there is a quest at the end of this, which will lead me back to Borealis. I'm on my Alliance Warlock, so we're going back to Borealis after we beat this boss. And I am confident we'll beat the boss, because that group was the hard one. This stuff is hard. All these guys along this hallway, they're all difficult. The last boss, it's just mechanics. It's actually not too bad. Alright, so far so good. It's typical in a lot of WoW raids, if you haven't played a lot of WoW or any WoW at all, these trash mobs are usually the most difficult. Usually, not always. There is a price to be paid. Oh, I haven't done my voice in so long, I got a little bit of a tickle doing it. Guy's just chewing through a bunch of us. One person dead already. I see dead people. Well, actually spirits because I'm a warlock, but still. Oh no, he's pulling the big guy and the two small guys. Not good. We're not supposed to cast any AoEs.
Beware.
Where are they? How am I getting threat? I don't know why I have threat and why no one's pulled threat off of me. No, I'm gonna aggro everything. I'm gonna die. He's still on me. I think the tank died. That's exactly what happened. Oh, I can't see. There we go. So the way the crown works is you activate the crown, and when you activate it, you drop it. What ends up happening is it will insta-kill any lesser demon below a certain percentage of health. I think it's 40%, I could be wrong. But it will kill any demon that's below a certain amount of health, so you try to get a whole bunch down and then activate it, because it also does damage to us. There we go, somebody pulled him in. No, he's trying to run out. Oh, he's got his bubble up. So he puts this bubble up, and the magic won't work on him when he's got the bubble up. My imp made it through, though. My imp hasn't had a problem at all. Oh, great, this pull's gonna suck. It's 2 of these big guys and 3 small guys. Name dots on all of them.
Beware.
Okay, so it looks like somebody is, the tank is giving us instructions on the last boss while we're fighting these guys. The main tank is giving us instructions behind my faceplate, and it's just the regular stuff. Just mechanics of the boss, what to do, what to ignore if you played the regular mode. It says 6 mines at the table. 1 will consume all others. What does that mean? Can't avoid them. No matter what you try to do, just fight them. It's got like the Shadow Siphon ability, and I have a feeling that any shadow damage he takes, maybe it heals him? I'm not really sure.
These slowly mortals desecrate your shrine, Master. Let us drown them and wash away their defiance.
You also don't have to bring these 3 objects with you. If you leave them behind, they'll teleport here.
Patience. Patience. They may yet prove worthy of my gift. I will taste their dreams. Their flesh.
He's so creepy. So this boss, Unat, I believe he's called, the Harbinger of the Void.
You command. They will serve.
Or they will die. Do a quick 5% wipe. Can't remember what percentage we need to get there. I have no idea what that hunter just said. Even the tank is like, what? Everyone's like, you can't see it, it's behind my faceplate, but a hunter said, do a quick 5% wipe. Can't remember what percent we need to get there. And then the tank is like, what? And then another hunter is like, question mark? The tank is like, no wipe, only win. Okay, so I think we're already ready. They're just kind of explaining what we need to do.
Endless suffering. I see torment. I see rage. I see everything. Pay
There we go.
price for your defiance. His eyes behold every truth, every unnumbered crime.
The world will be reborn in strength.
Glory to the Master.
See if I can get a good screenshot out of this guy. There we go. Now I can get back to it.
Beware.
It got really quiet all of a sudden. Okay, these beams, there's two of them, they crisscross. Typically, I run into one right away, get the dot on me, and then the dot drops off before the second beam hits me. If you get both beams on you at once, you can insta-die, depending on how high your hit points are. And it looks like a healer did die from that. Got really quiet on this side all of a sudden. Try to ease up the healers a little bit so they don't have to worry too much about me by healing myself when I have to. If these guys do this consuming shadow, I think it's called, it just has to be interrupted. Consume essence. Just has to be interrupted. They're easy to kill regardless. Oh no, he's gonna get it off. I don't have any interrupts. These primordial mindbenders need to die like ASAP. Tab targeting is very dangerous here. We're not doing too bad, but I think we might hit the enrage timer if we don't speed this up. Oh great, I'm dead. I don't think there's any way. Yeah, I'm gonna die.
Beware.
I'm just trying to stay alive now. So I've got a dot on me, it can't be removed. And I can't drain life fast enough to keep myself alive. But I'm trying. Like, the healers are trying to heal me, but I don't think I'm going to survive. And I'm out of mana now, so I can't heal myself. Yep. There's nothing I could do. A few of us have the dot on us now. I think there's 6 or 7 of us. And even in death, I still have the dot on me. It's called Insatiable Torment. I don't know how to get rid of it. There doesn't seem to be any mention of it that I could see. It says healing received reduced by 100%, 7,433 shadow damage inflicted every second, triggering feed of the unworthy every 2 seconds. He's down to 16% though. 15. Everybody who has the dot on them is dying now. Maybe people standing in the dot infected them as well? I have no idea. A lot of people have the dot on them now. There's quite a few people. Most of us who have the dot are dead already. All the people who are dead have the dot on them, had the dot on them. Except one mage. He's got the dot on him and he's still okay. This guy right here. This little gnome. I think he's using his shield to buffer the damage. 6%, 5%, 4%. Come on, 3, 2. Come on. Come on. He's still at 2, 1%. 400,000, 300,000, 200,000, 100,000. Oh, he got a little bit of a heal going off there, and then he popped back. So I don't have to loot the boss, because I did this earlier this week, and we managed to get through it. It took like 3 hours, I think. It was brutal. But here's the quest right here. A lot of people miss it, and it's Xalatath. It's the blade. It's just sitting here. The echo of the blade Xalatath lingers before you. Though the consciousness that resided with the dagger is gone, the place it once occupied still resonates with power. You sense the weapon now speaks another voice, another purpose. You feel compelled to warn the king that the blade may now reside in the hands of the enemy. So it's like some sort of... What does that mean? I didn't even realize he said that. I usually leave by now, so... Okay, let's go talk to the king. Alright, so now we're in Stormwind, and we just had to talk to Anduin about the missing blade. You tell Anduin about Xal'atath and N'Zoth. His expression darkens. This is grim news, champion. The Alliance stands on the threshold of victory. If the Banshee Queen has learned of a new weapon, she will use it to keep the war going indefinitely.
When Sylvanas Windrunner became war chief, I knew we would not be friends. But I didn't want us to be enemies. Then came the massacre in Arathi, and the burning of Teldrassil. It's clear she does not fight for Azeroth. She doesn't even fight for the Horde. She wages war upon life itself. We are so close to ending this conflict and forging a lasting peace. But if Sylvanas uncovers some new weapon that allows her to keep fighting... No. We must discover what she's after, and stop whatever madness she seeks to unleash upon us.
Wow, and with that, we are done so far with the quests. So I believe patch 8.2 will continue the quests, but we also do have to see what the Horde did on their side. So I'll be doing videos for that as well. But with that, we are done. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for hanging in there to the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell button so you know when I post the next video. And don't forget to comment and let me know what you thought of the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.